We are continuing to follow our top story right now. Contaminated water still flowing from Oahu faucets. The U.S. Navy released some results from water samples taken from 14 different locations, including Red Hill and Waiawa wells and the Nimitz and Pearl Harbor elementary schools. The tests reveal levels of 10 different hydrocarbons, including benzene and ethylbenzene, both of those found in petroleum. But the Navy is saying the levels are not high enough to cause concern, but obviously an ongoing crisis. And joining me to discuss the findings, environmental activist Carroll Cox. And Carroll, I appreciate your time this morning, but this is something that you said has been going on for longer than this, right?
Yes, we notified the state about what we had learned, the smell when you drive over Red Hills back in 2012. And the problem was so many people were calling us up and telling us, but they were afraid they'd get fired or be violating some law for disclosing that anything about the fuel facility. Since then, there are documents that reflect that these chemicals or constituents such as naphthalene, methylnaphthalene, and ethazine has been in the water for some while. They're not a natural occurrence, not ubiquitous. This is something that should not be in the water. But as you named a few, benzene, ethylbenzene, toluene, xylenes, TPHG, TPHD, there's one thing that bothers me. I noticed in some of the coverage, there were white particles in the water, in the pots that were being collected. They use a silica gel cleanup for cleaning up the spills. But there's no measurement, there's no levels of safety levels on those. So what is happening? I'd also like to add that one of the most glaring things that say that no one is really taking this serious, that should be taking it serious, look how they're treating the dumping of water that is contaminated. You're going to go from bad to good by dumping dirty water, contaminated water that you confirmed into the ground, into the ocean, and then children will come along and play in the dirt later and get affected. So I think that they're misinformed, misadvised, and I would say our legislators should take off the gloves and get down to business. This is a horrendous behavior, and it's going to be an impact on the entire water system of Honolulu.
And well, yeah, I was going to say, number one, do you trust the Navy to sort of investigate itself at this point? And at this point, what do you see as the solution here?
I see as number one, no, I do not trust the Navy. I do not trust the State Department of Health, because you see, the Navy sees itself as a sovereign entity and have made that declaration. So the state really doesn't have a policing authority on that property. It's a sovereign federal property. Why is it that the state is asking for things when in fact they're the regulatory? They've adopted the policies and what have you of the EPA standards, and they're the enforcement, but why are they handing off? And also the Navy is self-policing, self-reporting. So no, I do not trust anything going forward that the Navy will do and the state health department will do. And where is the EPA? The EPA was instrumental in installing this system, these tanks way back. There's an oily pit where oil was dumped, millions of gallons spilled intentionally or dumped intentionally. So I believe that independent task force comprised of people, scientists, and to look at this, and they tell you that we're going to fix it. What are they going to fix? They haven't quantified the value. And look at the testing procedures. We have to send them off to the mainland to get them tested when we have something as large as this and threatening as this facility. We have to go to the mainland. How many days it take? How many people can get sick until you decide? One other point I'd like to offer is this. The EALs, when they say the levels were low, well, I have records and documents that show from the Navy that they're just a simple request to raise the EALs have been met and granted by the State Health Department. Meaning, if you had a 10 level that was of concern, just pencil in 20 Now that is just an insult because the EAL should not be so malleable.
Yeah, well, I know that I know this is an ongoing crisis, and Carroll, I appreciate you staying on top of this, and hopefully we will get that independent look at this. But we appreciate your time this morning talking about it for us.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Carroll, thanks so much.